do we do with this?
Heavily armored hostile detected. Civilians in danger.
Can't take too many more shots. Fuck! Guardian drone. I got him. Friendly KI is dead. Tangos are too close. Weapons free. I don't. This.
Serious trauma detected.
Sighted.
If you guys are interested in being a member, then click the join button down below to check out the available perks. The first tier is only $1. Thank you to those of you who choose to join. With that said, welcome to another Division 2 build breakdown video. Before we get into the video, I want to give a huge thanks to all of you for supporting my channel and getting us to 21k subscribers. The channel has blown up this month and it's all down to you guys showing such support on my videos, leaving likes and comments. Those two simple actions have pushed us into the recommended section, which in turn helps us grow. So again guys, thank you for all of your support. With that said, let's get into the video. I did a poll on my community tab and asked you guys what type of RIDGEWAY'S Pride build you wanted. The two options were a DPS version or a tank version. The majority of you voted for the DPS version of the build, as well as the primary being an SMG. So an SMG DPS version of the build is what you're gonna get. The DPS version will be a build I recommend for speedrunning heroic missions and control points. You could even use it to farm the summit on heroic, but I wouldn't recommend it for legendary as it doesn't have enough survivability. Before we start talking about the build, I do want to give my opinion on the RIDGEWAY'S Pride chest piece real quick. A lot of you guys have asked me if it's worth the grind and asked me if it's any good, which in my honest opinion, it's not worth the grind nor is it really good. The chest piece talent is very awkward, especially when it comes to the armor regen side. I think this is a chest piece that should give survivability to all red DPS builds from 25 to 30 meters away, as 15 meters or less is just so awkward and makes no sense. Why would you leave 3 to 5 enemies on bleed around you just to gain armor? If enemies are that close to you, you want to kill them as fast as possible, not leave them around you to bleed. I feel there's two ways to run this chest piece. The first is a DPS build like today's build, where you use the bleed to proc damage talents, Eclipse Protocol, Sadist and so on. The second is using it in a tank build. Much like my bulwark builds that I've posted, you kill pretty slow because you're using a pistol, and a lot of the time don't get to finish enemies off before another pushes you. So often you're in a situation where you're leaving multiple enemies on bleed. I've seen several builds with this chest piece and I've not seen anyone be able to really utilise the armor regen part of the talent. I feel it's so awkward and underwhelming, players rather just use the bleed to proc talents. So in my opinion, the devs need to relook at this and change it again. Now with that said, today's build is a DPS armor on kill build, using what I believe to be one of the best run and gun sets in the game. This is a great combination of damage, status effects and survivability. All the things you want in a speedrun build. And I don't think there's any better set to use than the Hunter's Fury gear set. When it comes to the damage stats of this build, with all of the buffs active, we have 55% crit chance, 184% critical hit damage and 130% weapon damage. The weapon we are using is an SMG you guys have recommended I use many times in my comment section, that being the named Vector the Dark Winter. Not only is this one of the best looking weapons in the game, but it comes with an extremely fast RPM of 1200. That also gets a 5% RPM boost on kill thanks to the gunner specialization. On top of that insane RPM, it also has a top tier damage talent for speedrunning, that being the Perfect Killer. Killing an enemy with a critical hit grants plus 50% critical hit damage for 10 seconds. I also chose this weapon not only because it has a fast RPM and a crazy damage talent, but because I feel it's easier to obtain, as I use a lot of exotic weapons within my builds. All you have to do to get this weapon is farm assault rifles on target loot, and it's as simple as that. This build is all about chaining kills. You chain kills to build up the Hunter's Fury damage stacks, you chain kills to keep the Perfect Killer talent active. Now I mentioned earlier that the RIDGEWAY'S Pride chest piece is good for proccing status effect related damage talents, and that's exactly what we are using it for in today's build. With the RIDGEWAY'S Pride chest piece applying bleed to enemies within 15 meters, we proc a talent on our backpack that amplifies all damage you deal to status affected targets by 30%. So we have the damage needed for a heroic speedrun build, but we also need the survivability. That's where the 20% armor on kill from the Hunter's Fury gear set comes in. That's also boosted to 30% health on kill because we are using the gunner specialization, and can also be boosted a further 10% if you decide to use the mop shotgun as your secondary. This is a build where in order to survive you have to kill, kill, kill. If you hesitate, you'll most likely die. Before we get into the build breakdown guys, a quick reminder to smash that like button to help support the channel and help us grow. Let's hit 500 likes minimum. If you're new, subscribe for lots more Division 2 content. And with that said, let's get into the build breakdown. Moving on to the secondary, and you can use either the mop shotgun, which gives you the extra 10% armor on kill, or you can use the Sweet Dreams, which has the talent Sandman. Melee attacks instantly kill non-elite enemies. So if you get caught out on a reload or something really awkward, just whip this out and smack a bad boy across the head. Moving on to the actual gear set now. Hunter's Fury, my favourite gear set in the game. All about run and gun, absolutely love it. We have 15% shotgun damage, hence why I'm saying use the shotgun as your secondary, whether it's the Sweet Dreams or the mop. We have 15% SMG damage. We are using an SMG. You can use an assault rifle with this build, as I've shown you guys before. The Chameleon works wonders with this build. The 3-piece gives us 20% armor on kill and 100% health on kill. And then the 4th piece is the Apex Predator Talent. Enemies within 15 meters receive a debuff, amplifying your weapon damage against them by 20%. Killing a debuffed enemy with your weapon disorientates other enemies within 5 meters and amplifies weapon damage by 5% for 10 seconds, stacking up to 5 times. On this mask we have 15% weapon damage, 12% critical hit damage and 11.5% critical hit damage via a mod. Onto the RIDGEWAY'S Pride chest piece. As you can see, 15% weapon damage, 4.6% critical hit chance, 10.3% critical hit damage, and 11.5% critical hit damage via a mod. And we have the Bleeding Edge talent. Shooting enemies within 15 meters applies bleed to the target. Repair 3 to 48% of your armor per second for every enemy that is bleeding within 15 meters. Repair strength per number of bleeding enemies is all that you can see right there, which doesn't even apply to this build because we're going to melt them so quick, we're not going to be leaving them on bleed. Moving on to our holster, our Hunter's Fury holster, which has 15% weapon damage and 12% critical hit damage. If you guys want this gear set, find targeted loot on the summit. Moving on to the knee pads, I rolled the core attribute for 170k armor. We have 10.2% critical hit damage. The gloves, Hunter's Fury gloves, at 170k armor again, 10.2% critical hit damage. So these are two places I could improve. As you can see as well, I did roll blues on them because I'm going for a balanced build of 3 reds and 3 blues. And then finally moving on to our backpack, which is the Eclipse Protocol. Now I don't know if this is a bug, but the devs have said nothing about it. I rolled it for 170k armor. We have 4.7% critical hit chance on here, 12% critical hit damage via mod, and then the talent is Symptom Aggravator. Amplifies all damage you deal to status affected targets by 30%. That's a lot of damage. Why would you say no, right? And that is it for the build, guys. Pretty simple build to make. Hopefully a lot of you can make it, because I know some of you have been struggling to make the builds that I've made. When it comes to the skills, you can use the Jammer Pulse. I know a lot of you are getting sick of the shields. Jammer Pulse is great, confuses enemies, stops them from shooting at you. You can use the Defender Drone to obviously block bullets from hitting you. You can also use the Striker Drone to distract enemies as well, which is my favourite skill. Looking at the mods on my Pulse when they're on, because it keeps removing them and I don't know why. You have the 15% effect duration, which you get from using the gunner specialization. And then what I would also put on here is the radius, which gives you the plus 15% radius, again because of the gunner specialization. Moving on to the Defender Drone, we have 7.1% duration, we have 9.2% health, and then we have 4.8% damage, which you want to switch out for 5.7% damage reduction. That is pretty much it for the build, guys. A pretty simple one to make, a fun one to use as well, as you'll see by the gameplay. Let me know what you think down in the comment section below. I try and reply to every single comment, even when there's 300 to 400 comments down there. I still try my best to reply. If you have any questions, again, feel free to ask me. If you have any more ideas for builds, let me know in the comment section below. I like listening to you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Smash that like button, subscribe if you're new, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out, Mob Squad.
lampshade tech detected.
The enemy's deployed a Guardian drone. In their sights.
What?
Enemy taking fire.
Assault turret detected.
Launching the drone.
Trying to flank us. Getting shredded.
Rogue incinerator turret detected. Rogue sniper turret detected.
Going for it.
Fucker's got a drone.
UAVs are up.
Target on the flank. Tag. One right over there. Lost the man. Vision agent in my scope. Gotta find better cover.
Multiple hostiles inbound. Serious trauma detected.
God damn it, I fucking hate this shit! I'm gonna blow your fucking brains out!
High-risk target detected.
Got a shield! Fucking shield! Fuck you!
Immediate medical assistance needed.
Off of me! Take him out! Kill some agents! Kill you! Die!